welcome back to the podcast. This is Uncle Bob here from Uncle Bob Crypto. And I'm here with Chandresh Aharwar from MATIC. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about the project. And he's got some great news to tell us, some upcoming news that you're going to be very excited about. But we'll leave that to a little bit later. How are you doing, Chandresh?
Yeah, I'm doing really great. Situation is tough, obviously, with this coronavirus thing spreading out really quick. But yeah, thanks a lot, Bob, for inviting us for the interview, and really looking forward to get to know your community and inform about Matic to a larger audience.
That's really cool. Just before we start, what is the situation in India? I'll tell you, in the UK, everything is locked down except for essential services, social distancing. At the beginning, the supermarkets, there was a run on all of the supermarkets. We had all of the toilet paper, believe it or not. That was the first thing that went. But it was kind of almost, it was like a scene out of a movie. You'd go into a supermarket, people were piling all of the shopping onto their trolleys, pushing past each other. It was a little bit frightening to begin with, but it's all calmed down now. I think everyone's got used to it. I think you probably know our PM, Boris Johnson, he got corona too. So we're all taking it a little bit more seriously now. And we too are a little bit in the dark of how long this is going to last, but we've been told 3 more weeks of this lockdown, and we're going to reassess it after that. How's it, the situation where you are? Where are you in India, by the way?
So yeah, currently I'm in Bangalore. Complete Matic team works out of Bangalore actually. So yeah, we have been working from home from, I guess, early May, and before all the strict actions which came from Indian government, we realized that okay, this is getting really serious, and our team took that call of working from home from very longer period of time. As far as India is concerned, so currently we have around 40,000 plus cases at the moment, and around 460 people are deceased. But what I really liking about that, considering we have a very large population, and if you consider the population area wise, then India is a very dense country population wise. So I mean, if this thing gets spread in India, then obviously it will become very difficult for us. So it is really great that our government, sort of realizing that this is a very tough situation. And initially the lockdown was till 14th of April, but then our honorable PM came, and he spoke to the audience that okay, we need more time. So now the lockdown has been delayed till 3rd of May. So yeah, I mean, situation is difficult, but government is doing a good job making sure that all the essential items are reaching to the people, and the general public, does not feeling scarcity of any necessary items. So that thing is really being managed well in India. So yeah, that is a positive thing, and the strict actions which is taken by the state governments, I feel that is sort of necessary also. If they don't take strict actions, and once this thing spreads in India, then yeah, it will be a very difficult situation. So yeah, situation is difficult, but really glad to see that how the complete community in India is coming together and everyone supporting each other. Great time to see such things happening.
And how's it been for you? I mean, personally, are you locked down? Over here in the UK, we get we're allowed to go for an essential journey. That would mean for shopping, and you can exercise once a day. What are the rules in India?
Yes, so see, if we talk about the strict rules, then obviously the area I'm living in currently, so no positive cases are there. So generally, the same technique which is deployed by most of the countries, where they are figuring out, okay, if this person has tested positive, then who all are the people who came in contact with that guy, and all those people are ultimately quarantined. So fortunately, I have not been into that situation where one of my friend or the well-known person tested positive. So yeah, I mean, we don't have that much strict thing on us. We can go. We are in a society where we can go down. We can slightly roam around, take a walk within the society. But yeah, our society has also taken strict actions where people outside from the society are sort of not allowed inside. And if you are going out, then obviously there are cops on the roads. They will ask if you don't have a proper reason. Then obviously they will strictly say you that you are risking your life and everything. So yeah, personally, I would say it has impacted a lot, as I didn't have experience of staying within home for a very longer period of time. But yeah, I feel this is very important, and we are just trying to do our bit by not going out.
You know, it's really cool. In a way, your job, it's kind of not perfectly suited, but you can do it from home. You can work remotely.
Yeah.
That's an advantage. I have friends though in the UK, and I've spoken to
Mhm.
other people,
Mhm.
friends of mine who actually have their friends are entrepreneurs. They're finding it really difficult to motivate themselves. Like getting up in the morning is it's not quite the same because you you have to be really hard. You have to know what your schedule is and stick to it. And this is what I've been told because I'm still working actually. But how have you found it personally?
Yes, so I mean it is difficult, no doubt in that. But with Matic, like you mentioned, we are completely capable of moving our operations 100% remote, and that is what we are able to achieve. So I mean, we have a lot of things coming up, like our mainnet is also coming, nearly very soon.
Spoiler
And
alert.
yeah, so that thing is obviously there. So considering that, we have a lot of work, and our tech team is sort of working 24/7 as the counter stake, which is incentivized testnet event. So this event is like where the complete network is getting tested. So that phase is going on currently. So tech team is super busy, and in this situation we had a lot of physical events planned. In our Matic office, we used to do one event weekly. So considering all this scenario, we came to conclusion, okay, this thing cannot stop us, and we have started doing master class where we are inviting honored people from all over the crypto space to talk on different topics. And we recently did our first Matic treasure and also. So overall, on the activity basis, if you see, we are doing hackathons continuously. So overall,
Mm.
I would say in the COVID-19 situation, Matic network team has been doing much more work than what we have been doing previously.
They are. I mean, I don't know all of the ins and outs of the company, but it's quite clear that you're one of the hardest working teams in the industry. I mean, especially on the marketing side, but just seems all round. It's a project that has now it's on the cusp, if it isn't already, of being like not only a mid cap coin anymore, as they were saying, crypto. It's pushing for those top positions. It will be pushing for those top positions.
Yeah,
It's got a name.
yeah, yeah.
People know about it, and they're all like you say, especially with this mainnet that's coming up. Maybe we should just go straight into that. Tell us about what's coming up for Matic. Because wasn't the mainnet supposed to be in March?
Mhm.
Am I right
Yeah.
about
So
that? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, like I already mentioned about counter stake. So, how does counter stake go? So, counter stake is a stage where when the proof of stake based chain runs. Obviously, validators roles are very important. So, in counter stake, that is an incentivized testnet event. In that, we started that event, and it was divided into three stages: stage zero, stage one, and stage two. So stage zero was more about setting up your node, and stage one is about actually running the node, actually running the network. And actually people can come and delegate the tokens, and the reward distribution is also tested in stage one. At the same time, the replacement strategy of all the validators are also tested. So we are in that phase currently, and it is just nearing the completion. Then after this, we'll move to stage two, where actually validators will try to break the network. They will try different techniques, which are generally they will go through the complete code and try to find out some bugs and try to break the network. So that stage is coming up, and as soon as that stage gets over, then we will go ahead and our mainnet will come out really quick.
That's interesting. Okay. So actually, I want to bring it just back to you for a second. Chandresh, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you actually got into the crypto scene, how you ended up at MATIC.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just give us a little
So
brief history
actually,
about you.
yeah. So actually, my crypto journey sort of started in mid 2016, where I already knew about Bitcoin, Ethereum, but it was more like, initially I was looking towards all these assets as, from the trading perspective. But in mid 2016, I actually started getting into basics. I started getting into detail understanding how these things work. And after doing 3 or 4 months research, I really got interested in this space, and I realized, okay, this is going to be the super innovation which will be happening in near future. And obviously, I mean, looking at it, I realized this is a very early stage. There are still not many companies, and not many good people who are already working in the space. I realized that in 2016, then I thought, okay, this is the time to figure out what work is going on. Then I started researching about a lot of new projects which were coming in the end of 2016, in the start of 2016, 2017. And after researching, I realized that some of the projects can do really good job. And I also realized that with this industry, the market cap of 150 billion is nothing. So during that period of time, I started investing also, and kept researching about new projects which were coming in the market. And in that process, I sort of became, I would say, a small influencer in India, which projects were contacting. And I had a good name that this guy knows a lot about markets and everything. So in that 2017 mid, I started consulting many projects on marketing and different perspectives of how the crypto marketing specifically works. During that period of time, Sandeep, with JD, he was also sort of starting Matic, and that was in a very early stage, I would say. During that period of time, Sandeep got in touch with me, and we were sort of talking. Then we realized, okay, he realized that I'm an influencer, and he was a super senior of my MBA college. So in that sense, we started talking, and two like-minded people meet. Then it became a daily job that sharing my insights with him. He kept on sharing how he is planning to take the project ahead. So from there, all the things started. And I mean, that time I was not pretty sure whether I want to go into the space for full time. But as soon as I realized, okay, I want to enter the blockchain ecosystem completely, then in after around their Binance IO, I thought that why not join their team. So this is how I landed into Matic. Yeah.
Yeah, I 2017 I got involved. I actually walked into like a greengrocer's, like a grocery shop, and there was a Bitcoin machine in the shop. And
Oh,
I
okay.
said to the guy, like, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, it's a Bitcoin machine." I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Well, what does it do?" And he said, "It makes me money." Like, and I said, "How do you mean?" He said, "Well, I put, I mean, he he said I put £100 in a week, and it keeps on going up."
Yeah.
Because at that time it was August 2017, and Bitcoin was on. It was just
Yeah.
beginning its rise up, and I thought,
Yeah.
"Wow, what do you?" He said, "It's the future." He had no understanding. I had no understanding. All I thought was, wow, maybe there's a way out of just endless work.
Yeah.
maybe maybe this is
Yeah.
my ticket to freedom. And I got involved, and by Christmas, now obviously Christmas, and we know what happened after Christmas,
Mhm.
or the beginning of 2018. But I mean, I'd made like a huge amount of money compared to
Mhm.
the amount that I'd put in. And I was almost like a blockchain or a cryptocurrency evangelist. I was at the Christmas table. I was telling all of my family, "You've got to buy Bitcoin. You've got to buy Lite." Oh my God, the worst advice you could possibly give anybody: buying Litecoin at the top, buying Bitcoin at the top. I was saying it's going to 1 million. I
Mhm.
had no
Yeah.
idea.
That, that,
I'm sure
that,
we
that,
were all there. because it just seemed for a moment like it was on this. I knew nothing of market cycles. I knew nothing about how stocks behave. All I could see was this trajectory. The whole the narratives are being written. McAfee saying it was going to 1 million, and I just thought I became almost a member of a cult in a way. I became completely blind to everything else, and then of course the next year it crashed, and I think I bought every single dip. And remember Superman? Did you ever watch Superman? The YouTube guy here in the UK. He would encourage everybody to buy the dips, and I thought I was being really smart, but I didn't realize it was a bear market, and I was basically sort of buying, letting it would rally, and it would carry on back down. And gosh, I just put so much money, but I just stuck at it. I think once you've been in crypto, I don't know why, it almost just bites you, and there's no antidote.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but the great part is you understood about the technology, and now you are doing a good job. For we need people like you who are taking their time out in spreading the word and actually bringing out good people who are doing a good job. So this part is really important. What I feel, obviously the market cycle generally keeps on going. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you lose money if you are a trader. But what I feel, I am personally very bullish in the industry, and I feel like there are a lot of synergies which has to be derived. So like in 2017, when that I'll come to Matic basically in 2017, when you remember the CryptoKitties game came on Ethereum, and the complete network was sort of congested because it saw a lot of transactions happening on Ethereum blockchain. During that period of time, basically we also realized, I also personally realized, that the blockchain industry is not ready for mass adoption at the moment. And that is the very important thing. Once we are ready for mass adoption, once we are ready, when the normal apps which you are using in your phone can move to blockchain, and the end user is able to interact with the blockchain without even knowing it, that is the point. That is the sort of synergy I am talking about, where a lot of industries can derive a lot of synergies out of blockchain, and the end user doesn't have to deal with the minute details, the management of keys and everything at the end, sending the transaction, signing it. So all those things can go in background. So at that period of time we realized, okay, this technology has a great potential, and there are a lot of good people who are working on Ethereum. There are a lot of good people who were working on other blockchains, but we feel that Ethereum has the most active developer community, and that is why we are sort of building our layer 2 solution on Ethereum. So when that time came, we realized that we need to be ready for mass adoption when the right opportunity comes. So with Matic, that is what we are trying to solve on Ethereum. Like when we have less than millions of transactions coming per minute, then we should have the proper infrastructure which should be able to which should be able to cater to that. So with Matic, we are solving the problem of slower transactions, and we are also solving the problem of high fees.
That's interesting. Do you know what? For a time, I ran a website called Bob's Blockchain Cafe, and at first I was going to get lots of people writing for me, and I actually ended up being the only writer. But I wrote a few articles about MATIC. So although I haven't got nowhere near the amount of knowledge you have. I do have some. I wrote an article, and it was called "With Ethereum 2.0 delayed, is MATIC a Matic? Is it Matic or we say Matic because of the football player? But is Matic a box-ready solution?" That was the kind of USP to begin with. It's the scalable Ethereum killer.
Yeah.
Is that right? I mean, is there a truth? Is there truth in that?
Yeah, obviously, and I will tell you what is the best part about Matic, as we are building our layer 2 solution on Ethereum at the moment. And if you see that Ethereum, if you see all the blockchains which exist in the ecosystem currently, Ethereum has got around 2,700 dApps already, who has built on Ethereum and running on Ethereum. If you come, then the second number is Tron, which has around 700 to 800 dApps. I guess then third one is the EOS with around 300 or 350 dApps building on them. And if you look at the developer community, then Ethereum has a crazy developer community. They have a lot of cool developers working on different solutions on top of Ethereum. So, this is generally we say if you are an Ethereum developer, then you are already a Matic developer. And, with the solution we are bringing, and we are coming up with lower fees and higher speed on blockchain, I guess there are many use cases which can come to life with Matic, with our solution. So yeah, I mean, Ethereum has the biggest developer community which can build on Matic, and we don't need to basically ETH 2.0 roadmap and sort of it will. I feel that it will take slightly more time to come to life. So I mean, and apart from that, if we compare them, there are a lot of different things also. So with that, I guess what article you were mentioning about, I totally agree with you that is what we also believe, and that is what we are working for. Yeah.
That's good. And what exactly, can you give us an example or an idea of what's being built on Matic right now?
So yeah,
Any
like I
what's
already,
what's the most exciting project, or give me a couple of exciting projects that you.
yeah, sure. So I mean, like I already told you the number of dApps of three major blockchains, right? So we already have around 70 plus blockchains, 70 plus dApps who are building on Matic. You must have heard the name of Decentraland.
Yeah, of
They
course,
are
yeah.
yeah, they are the metaverse. They are building on Matic. There is a dApp out of India named as Springworks. They are building sort of LinkedIn on blockchain where you can have verified profiles. There are a lot of projects like Chain Breakers, Chain Guardians,
Mm.
which is also a game, Light Trail Rush. So I mean, I can go on, keep on naming, and
Would you say?
the
Go on.
three
Sorry, I interrupted you.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. So the three major virtual games, the metaverse projects like Decentraland, Sandbox, and Somnium Space, all are working on Matic. So one of the community member was mentioning that Matic has become the king of VR space. So yeah, I mean, if you actually look at the number of dApps which are building on Matic, so people are calling us that Matic has become a most adopted layer to blockchain. But the way I see it, then once we go live with our mainnet on, and all these dApps come live on Matic, then we are already a number 4 blockchain with our launch itself, which is a very huge thing in itself. Yeah.
Would you say the explosion of these decentralized applications on Matic has something to do with the boom in the tech sector? I mean, isn't Bangalore essentially the capital of the tech sector in India? And isn't it the Indian tech sector set to be, if it isn't already, one of the, it is the largest. Is it the largest in the world, or
Yeah.
the services in the tech services industry?
Yeah, totally agree. That is also not only the reason, but one of the reason that initially we were working out of Navi Mumbai, but last year around September we moved to Bangalore. Obviously, we wanted to hire more tech talent, and our team expansion was in progress. That was also one of the reason. But I would say Indian crypto industry, is very big, but obviously Matic being the front runner in driving the
Mm.
name of India on the complete blockchain ecosystem, nearly every team working out of here are in close touch with us, and we are generally our team is very hard working, I would say. That we keep on we keep on responding to everyone, every small query also which is coming out of the Indian ecosystem. So around out of the total dApps which are sort of working out of India, around 90% dApps are building on Matic. So that is itself, the numbers itself tells that how closely associated we are in the Indian ecosystem.
Mm.
And apart from that, Matic is not only about the Indian ecosystem. We have great number of teams, great number of dApps who are out of India and working very closely with us. building on Matic. They are doing lot of they are taking lot of different initiatives also, and yeah, that thing is really helping us out, no doubt in that.
Really interesting stuff. Really exciting, actually. It must be exciting to be part
Yeah.
of such an expansive and ambitious It's not even a project, but let's just call it a project for now. And it is such it's an ambitious project. Do you think it has? You talked of meeting. Is it Sandeep, the CEO? Uh,
Yeah, he is the COO. Yeah.
what kind of vision? Tell us a little bit about him as a man and the vision he has, and because obviously a great company needs a great CEO.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the man.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear Sandeep talking in many different places. He is a very outgoing person, to be honest, and one of the best leaders I have seen and I have worked with in my entire career. To be honest, I love his approach of focusing on execution, and love his quality of team management. At the same time, how much workload and how much things he can drive in parallel. So yeah, no doubt he is doing a great job. And I mean, not only his vision, I would say the complete Matic team's vision is pretty clear, that we want to drive that blockchain mass adoption, and that is what we are thriving for. If you go and look, arranging hackathon is not a small task. If you go and look through our announcement channel, we are announcing one hackathon on a daily basis. And in last year we have done around 70-75 plus hackathons, which is not a small number. So all these things we are doing, considering and realizing the enormous developer talent India as a country has. So we obviously
Mm.
introducing blockchain to all these young and talented developers who can be a potential CEO of one of the very bigger company in blockchain coming. You never know. I mean, the apps which you are using on your phone, 50% of those apps are moving to blockchain in next 2 or 3 years. And most of those things will be done by this young talent which is currently in college, or working somewhere in very early stage startup or something. So we are sort of arranging hackathons, motivating these people, and we are also seeing result out of it. There are number of dApps which came out of those hackathons we are arranging, and now they are building on Matic. They are really doing a great job, and they are receiving fundings from really well-known VCs. So that is also motivating for us, that not only we but other major players in the industry are also believing on them. So considering all these things, you can realize the crux, the amount of things we are shipping continuously. I mean, yeah, Sandeep is doing a great job, no doubt in that. So he has that vision of driving mass adoption, where Matic is being used for all the business activities which are happening, most of the business activities which are happening on blockchain. So Ethereum can exist there as a layer one blockchain which is focusing on the security, and Matic can exist as a layer two black blockchain where all the business transactions are happening on Matic, and at the same time we are deriving security from Ethereum, and we are focusing on scalability.
You must feel so proud to be part of such proud to have actually been chosen by Sandeep. It sounds like that meeting was almost, just one of those things that was just meant to have happened, synchronicity, or coincidence,
So
one of the two.
I think I was one of the best resource, to be honest. So yeah, I mean it was obviously it was no brainer decision for Sandeep and the complete team also to hire someone like me, because obviously having a very strong educational background, and at the same time well connected with the complete Indian ecosystem, having a good name in the industry, and having being seen that 2017 bull market and the downfall also, and the kind of ideas I was already consulting with them. So yeah, I guess it was a no brainer for him also to hire me, and it was a no brainer for me also. I mean, a project like Matic, having Coinbase as a seed investor, Matic
Mm.
choosing Binance choosing Matic for doing their IEO. So they were doing I was doing great, they were also doing great. So yeah, I mean, it was
I
both.
remember when Matic actually burst onto the scene. I mean, that's Another article I did write was I caught it, I actually said that the phrase had been coined to do a MATIC, and to do a MATIC mean to do a 10x.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when it
Yeah, I
came
mean,
onto the scene, it just kept on going up. I remember that. It was
yeah, I mean,
it was
it
so,
really feels great to be honest. I mean, whenever I meet people, I tell, okay, I'm heading the marketing for Matic team, and people coming and saying, yeah, I mean, you are the best IO project of 2019 and 2020,
mm,
written wise, community wise, and everything. So it really feels proud. And I mean, I personally take proud in whatever work I have been doing. I have seen the results. I am getting the results in my work, and I am seeing that all the strategies we are implementing, communities liking it, our outward approach. We are doing a lot of activities which no one has done in the industry till now. Like, with the recent FUD, we realize that all the token movements which are happening through us should be visible to everyone. So we are maintaining a one shared sheet. We announced it through our announcement channel. So I mean, all these things are getting respected, and I personally also feel proud. All these things which we are thinking of are ultimately being liked by our community, investors, traders, everyone.
yeah, okay. Um, well, it just sounds really, really exciting. Um,
Mhm.
and I think Jeff, definitely just listening to you today, it feels congruent as well. It doesn't sound like you're a hype project. It doesn't sound like you're going to be a fly by night project. It looks like you've got a plan. You're looking at the long term plan. It's only going to get. Uh, you said 50% of phone apps on our phone are going to go onto the blockchain. Is that just a number you've pulled out of the air, or can you back that up? And why would they be all going onto the blockchain?
Yeah, I mean, if you
But
see that, I mean, let's divide it sector wise. People are already seeing that, how the DeFi industry is going rapidly. Recently, there were around 1 billion of assets which were logged in the DeFi space. If you look at gaming, the metaverse projects, again, I will name Decentraland. If you look at the sporting industry, the betting industry, there are many use cases which are driven by the blockchain. I mean, just take an example of poker also. There must be a lot of people who are playing poker. If you are playing poker on a house, there is always a chance. You are never sure how the cards are being drawn, how much randomness is there, is the house is cheating and everything. What if the complete transactions which are happening there are happening on blockchain? Then the transparency part plays a very bigger role in such use cases. So this is just a single example I have taken, but you consider all these use cases are actually getting implemented after people are realizing the importance of it, the synergy which blockchain is bringing. So I mean, 50% is really a achievable number. I am just not sure that in how many years that can happen. But yeah, I feel that number is really not a far-fetched dream, I would say. It is obviously possible to achieve that.
it's definitely a growing sector, that's for sure, and it's not going away. Tell us what uh, is coming up for Matic this year. What are you excited about?
Yeah, so first thing, our complete focus is obviously on mainnet, which is and obviously we want to have a very successful counter stake. We want our testnet event to be very successful, and the complete testing is thorough with stage 2, where the well-known validators are planning to break the network, and obviously ship this thing out, and actual transactions can happen, actual dApps can come. So obviously our focus is bringing more and more dApp onto Matic chain. There are some very exciting initiatives which we are planning to take in near future that will obviously get a lot of new developers also excited. And this thing is apart from the hackathon, so which we are already doing on enormous level. So yeah, plan wise, there are so many things planned, and we are working on parallelly, that once our mainnet is shipped out, then generally projects doesn't have anything much bigger things left after mainnet. But the way we are growing, I guess it is going to grow bigger and bigger in 2020.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for taking the time out today to speak to me. I've learned a lot, and you know, uh, MATIC is an exciting project. I'm not invested, but to be honest, I'm trying to stay away from investing in all projects at the moment. I want to come with a clean slate, and yeah, it's definitely one of those that I think is less. There's a lot of BS in crypto, and I think MATIC is just one of those. And I think that's why also Coinbase invested. They would have seen it too. I don't think they wouldn't have parted with their money if they didn't believe in a project long term. So I want to wish you good luck, and I'd love to have you back on the podcast in the future sometime. We can talk about that off camera. But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to tell the listeners or the viewers?
No, I mean,
Final
yeah,
words.
yeah, yeah. So, for, thanks a lot, man, for inviting us. And obviously, you are doing a good job in the space to complete Matic community and to your community and to all the investors who are, there. So we have been really doing hard job, and we also believe in the long-term future that you can directly see in the recent token unlock, which is scheduled for April 2016. So around 12% of the token were planned to go into circulation, but our complete team, our complete foundation have taken that decision that our tokens will go into staking, and we are not taking any token unlock. So that itself proves that how much of a believer we are in a project. And considering that, looking towards the bright future, and if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to us. We are very active. We are active on Telegram 24 by
Yeah,
7
and
literally.
likewise, I've
Yeah.
connected now. I'm really pleased to have met you. This is my first of, I hope, many podcasts speaking to the influencers, the celebrities, the personalities, the CEOs. I met many of them last year when I was going around to different summits. Obviously now we can't do that, but it's important that we kind of reach out and get to know the people behind the tickers and behind the company names, because there's real people hard at work trying to with an ambition and with purpose, who their voices need to be heard too. And yeah, I'm really pleased to have met you today, Chandresh.
Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy. Have a great day and stay safe.
Same. Take care.
Bye bye.